already. It's been one of those days, I tell you. It has been one of those days. Let me bring the music down a bit here. There we go. As I talk over my intro music here. Oh. All right. So I had some things planned. Then I had some other things planned. And then I had a few other things planned. And then everything went to the wayside when my dear little kitty cat decided she decided to demand a lot of attention, as kitty cats do demand. The lovable little fur ball just would not take no for an answer, and I had to calm her down because she was spazzing out like I have never seen her spaz out. So kind of what I'm doing right now is, what am I doing? I'm just looking through some random books here. Maybe I'll just try different background music. Let's see, what is... Oh, what's this one do? Okay, that's kind of chill, kind of relaxing here. All right. So really, all I've got planned for today is nothing new. I didn't really have anything planned for the afternoon. Well, I did have some stuff planned, but then my kitty cat decided otherwise. Grab another bit of tea here to enjoy. Let's see, I am playing around again with having background music as I do a stream. So I'm going to change the levels here and there. I'll check it out later as in the replay to see what it looks like. But anyway, I am going to switch on my camera now and share some oddball books I have. Books I've been meaning to get to for some time, but haven't really. Let's see, this one comes out, and the nasty, grungy bag and board goes away because I want to make room for a new bag and board. Let me go ahead and do this. And boom, right there. There we go. There we go. Let me see. I'm going to do some stuff here. There's no real way to fine-tune the music I hear in my headphones. I had intended to start at 2 this afternoon, but of course, my kitty cat demanded attention. So I had plans. I ditched all my plans and decided to grab some random books I haven't touched in ages. And kind of breeze through them. This is the new Teen Titans #1, August of 1994. Let's see, trying to find the page where all the particulars. Oh, here we go. Marv Wolfman and George Perez, co-creators, co-editors. Todd Klein did the lettering and Adrian Roy did the coloring. This is a really nice comic, actually. Marv Wolfman, George Perez. Let's see. New Teen Titans #1, published monthly by DC Comics, 1984. That was pretty good. Colors were nice on this book. Usually I can pick up an older comic book from the 80s and the paper feels lightweight, kind of thin. But this book does not have that feel. It feels a lot more substantial than other books from the 80s. It gets a nice Mylar bag and acid-free board to replace the old one. The old, dingy, dirty one. Like out with the old and with the new. Something else I had here, I think I touched on this on a past live stream, X-Men and Alpha Flight #1, and a 2-issue limited series. Gonna open this up and have a look at them. Chris Claremont did the writing. Paul Smith and Bob Wysick are the artists. Tom Orzechowski did the lettering. Glennis Oliver did the coloring. And Nascente and Denny O'Neil were the editors, with Jim Shooter the editor-in-chief. Back during the Jim Shooter era at Marvel. Let's see. I keep forgetting to get a magnifying glass. But it looks like it's either in 1985 or 1995. Well, it can't be 95. It has to be 85. This is not a bad looking book. I'm going to have to breeze through this later and see what the story's about. Oh, yeah, here we go. We got one of those wraparound covers. So I'm going to carefully open it up. Front and back wraparound cover. That's pretty cool looking. I'm going to set this aside. Going to have a quick look at the second issue here. I know. Let's get my cell phone light and have a closer look at the date. It looks like 85 or 86. Paul Smith did the artwork in this. Story by Chris Claremont. Bob Wysick, Friends and Inkers. Oh, Bob Wysick and Friends did the inking. This looks like an involved storyline. Do you like the artwork in this? The panels are nice. There's nice bits of action and whatnot with each page. Some nice dynamic artwork. Very cool. I'm going to have to look at this later and read the story to see what the story is all about. I'll set him aside. Some oddball books I have. This looks, I can't tell if this is slightly damaged or if that's part of the artwork. This is Port Number 1 by Silver Wolf Comics. 1987, Volume 1, Number 1. Black and white. All right, Silver Wolf. Let's see. I had read a little bit about Silver Wolf Comics some time ago. One guy just up and decided to make his own comic book universe. Guy by the name of Silver. I forget the last name. Here it says he did the story, the artwork by somebody named Hester, and the inking by Soltero. What little I remember about this company was this fella just decided to create his own comic book universe with connecting characters and whatnot. Oh, here we go. Artwork. I was trying to find a page that would show the other. Oh, here we go. Here's one of the other books. Legion XI. Coming soon. from Silver Wolf Comics. One of those oddball books I come across every so often. I can't remember how long ago I got this one. Probably does not deserve a Mylar bag, but he's getting a Mylar bag anyway. Now this one, Eternity Comics, Ninja #1. Oh yeah, I had touched on this before. I had touched on this from my Oddball Comics live stream. Let's see here. 1986, Ninja, Volume 1, #1. Published bi-monthly by Eternity Comics. Let's see. Written by C.J. Henderson and Peter Palmer. Illustrated by Kevin Farrell and Roy Richardson. Lettering by Gary Fields. Edited by Martin Birkenwald. This is not a bad book. I read this and was kind of interested in it. Has to do with a young woman who is trained by her, I forget, father, grandfather, somebody, in the art of the ninja. She later goes into the army, and the army makes use of her ninja skills. It's not bad for a black and white book. Some of these oddball books, I keep meaning to look up and check out more of the connected books and their little universe. Like Port, I'm interested in reading up more on Silver Wolf Comics, see what all they put out or how far they made it before they closed, because it's interesting to see these creators come out with their own universe, create their own books and characters and whatnot, and to see how far they made it at that time. This was 86. This was 85 or 86. This is also 86. Of course, these books aren't around anymore because just because you have an idea for a comic book or a comic universe and some characters doesn't mean you're going to make it. Everybody has ideas for books and whatnot. Let's see, what else do I have here? I have a couple of oddities. Some oddities. DC and Marvel present The Uncanny X-Men and New Teen Titans. That's going to be interesting. Then I have Excalibur Mojo Mayhem. Looks to be 1989, going by the little scribbling right there. And if I'm seeing this right, it looks to be 1982, so that's kind of interesting. Of course, I was looking at New Teen Titans here and checking out the respective teams. I thought this was odd. This was a Valiant and Marvel collaboration. Iron Man and Exo Man of War in heavy metal. Pretty interesting. I've had these for some time. I don't believe I've ever read them. Of course, you get the Armored Person and Valiant, Exo Man of War. Then you got Iron Man in the Marvel Universe. Of course, there's going to be comparisons, even though their origins are way, way different. This was September of 1996. Fabian Nicieza, I know I'm butchering that name, did the writing. Andy Smith was the artist. Virtual Calligraphy did the lettering. Twilight Graphics did the color art. Omar Benmali, the assistant editor. It's not really an impressive cover. I mean, I think I would have done with something different for cover art. Let's have a look at the book itself. Kind of interesting. Right off the bat, it's colorful and yet muted at the same time. It's kind of odd. The colors do not pop. $1996. I believe that would have been the second iteration for Valiant, maybe the third. I forget how many times they were bought and sold in the early 90s. I'm just flipping through this book. I've not actually read this one. I just think it's odd to have Iron Man and Exo Man of War in a book. I can't imagine the story behind that. And it's odd. These are both labeled #1. I guess one was put out by Marvel, one was put out by Valiant. All right, so now we have a mix of Marvel and Valiant characters, which is kind of odd to see. Okay, now this is a little bit better. The coloring here is much better. Well, it was, and then it seemed to shift. It is kind of odd having these intercompany collaborations because you always have to come up with some kind of storyline to explain how characters from one company universe meet up with characters from another company. It can either be really, really good or really, really convoluted. All right. This was a not quite a spur of the moment live stream, but this was not planned at all. Well, I had plans to do another topic, another subject for a live stream, but things happened and my plans went by the wayside. I know I wanted to do a stream today. So this is perfectly random. This is about as random as I get. Very old backing board goes away. Marvel and DC present the Uncanny X-Men and the New Teen Titans #1. And the smallest of print. Chris Claremont did the writing. Walter Simonson did the art. Terry Austin, the finisher. I guess that means inking. Tom Orzakowski, lettering. Glennis Wynn, the colorist. I'm trying to see a definitive date on this. If I don't see one, I'm going to call it 1982. Yep. Oh, yes, 1982. And right off the bat, it looks like we start off on Apocalypse. So we go from Apocalypse to the X-Men. I'm just going to breeze through this. I want to read this later simply because it's by Chris Claremont. Story by Chris Claremont. I have to read this. Again, we got the mix-up of our DC characters and our Marvel characters. Oh, that's interesting. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Well, this book has seen better days, but that is right on the center. Yep, some old books do that from time to time. You open them up and pages just come right out. I might look this up in digital form. We got the two teams meeting up, the shaking of the hands, the greeting, like, hi, we're heroes. Hi, we're heroes as well. What are we doing here? That looks interesting. And since it is falling apart, I am going to put it in a nice bag and board. I'll look for it in a digital format and read. Like I said, I'm kind of curious. It's Chris Claremont, and I want to check it out. And the chat I see. Hello there. Keep It Thorough Comics. I do believe the first time I've seen you in one of my chats, so greetings. Excalibur is an awesome read. Yes. I have a number of the older Excalibur books, but it's been ages since I've read any of them. As I make my way through an oddball stack of books for today. You're saying X-Men and Titans were also awesome. Very cool. Well, thank you for joining me today. Keep It Thorough Comics. Let's see. This is Excalibur. This is a nice thick book. This is thicker than your average comic book, but not quite as thick as some of the graphic novels I've seen. But this is a nice size. Let's see. It says created by Chris Claremont and Alan Davis. Mojo Mayhem. 1989. Looks very cool here. I want to get to a splash page. It shows the Who did what? I'm not seeing that so far. Usually it's within the first page or two. Oh, you're saying thank you for showing off books. Not too many people show off the interior of books on. Yeah, I've always been curious about that. I mean, I'm not showing it panel by panel, so it shouldn't be like a copyright issue, I wouldn't think. Oh, here it is. First, Claremont did the writing, the art by author Arthur Adams, inking by Terry Austin and Bob Wysick and Company, lettering by Tom Orzakowski and Jade Moede, Moede, coloring by Glynis Oliver, editor-in-chief Tom DeFalco. Yeah, some of my past Saturday live streams, this is the 8th show in my Saturday afternoon comic book live streams, where I kind of go over some random books or some books in particular, kind of show the artwork and discuss them. I've done a number of books. Well, last Saturday, I was discussing the Batman Nightfall storyline and showing the books associated with that storyline. Because I really didn't feel like the Nightfall storyline, I don't think really got discussed too much. Oh no, this is neat. This is Amazing Heroes magazine, number 75, July 15th, 1985. 100-page summer special. 10 years with the mutants. Chris Claremont tells all. Wow, when you can look through back issues and see how much back issues were. It's always a blast to flip through old pricing guides, old industry magazines like this. I remember Overstreet magazine. I remember some other comic-related magazines. When I was working for a friend of mine in his comic book store, Wizard magazine had just come out, and everybody was buying up Wizard magazine. There was Hero magazine. There was Overstreet pricing guide. So I think at some point, this one might have gone away. Let's see. We have, they got some stuff on Robotech on page 24 of this. Page 36 is the Chris Claremont interview. Page 59, The Art of Henry Mayo. Page 64, The Punisher Strikes Back. A hero history of Marvel's Avenger. That's kind of odd. I would say Marvel's anti-hero, because that's what they kind of made the Punisher. All right, skipping to 36. Okay. Those Amazing Heroes were cool because they gave plenty of info on back issues and upcoming comics. Yeah, kind of like what little I remember of Overstreet. pricing guide from way back when. Of course, I remember Wizards magazine. It was all over the place. Yeah, exactly like Overstreet and Wizard Keep It Thorough Comics says. Yep. So this is a pretty lengthy interview. I flipped what, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages? And the interview is still going on. This is a good one. This is an extensive interview with Chris Claremont. I'm going to have to take some time and read through this to see what he said at that time. And we got some artwork here, which is pretty cool. When Titans clash, Dark Phoenix and Darkseid. Wolverine. Portfolio of the art and wonderment of Henry Mayo. Let me take this off camera just in case there's anything objectionable. No, this looks like some odd artwork. Well, that's pretty cool. See, Keep It Thorough Comics says Overstreet and Amazing Heroes were all in black and white, and Wizard wanted to be set apart, so they printed in color with different paper stock like a magazine. Yep. I have issues 1 through, I forget, 40 of Wizard magazine. I keep thinking that I will eventually do a comic book live stream where I kind of share the Wizard magazines, but for some odd reason I can't find the first 8 or 9 issues of Wizard magazine. I have issues 10 through 40, 10 through 50. I just have no idea where the first 9 issues went off to. I mean, I've moved over the years a couple of times from one place to another, one house to another, one apartment to house, what have you. So yeah, things get boxed up and boxed and reboxed and moved around. Let's see. Oh, that's a nice graphic novel. We're going to save that for the ending. Let's see. What do I have that's within arm's reach? I'm not going to go too terribly long today. Normally, I start at 2 p.m. Central and go to like 3:30 or 4. But today, I actually got started around 3 o'clock, a little after 3. So I don't believe I'll go much further beyond. It's already 4 o'clock my time, so I'll go a tad longer. Let's see. Keep It Thorough. I always loved Wizard fan casting for comic book movies. Yes. Yeah, sometimes I did a pretty good job. Wizard 1 through 8 are hard to find because they're hot commodities for collectors right now. Yeah. I mean, everybody gets nostalgic for the late 80s and early 90s. That's almost what some of my comic book live streams have become. They've become nostalgia driven, which is all right. There's nothing wrong with nostalgia. Say what you will about the early 90s and the gimmick covers at the time. Some of the books were fun to read. Let's see. I did a particularly fun live stream on the 90s gimmick covers. That was, forget how long ago that was, a month or so back. All right. Okay, getting into Cyberfrog. I covered these on a past live stream where I compared Cyberfrog with another hot new comic. But I'm just showing these off right now because this is the first Cyberfrog #1 by Harris Comics. Going by memory, I want to say 1996. Of course, we all know who created, written, wrote it, and drew it. Ethan Van Sciver pulling writing and artist duties on his book. And then Cyberfrog, The Art of John Malin, which is pretty cool. Then I picked up Cyberfrog Blood Honey #1, the ultimate edition here. I believe this is called the Ghost Cover Edition. Kind of hard for my camera to pick it up, but it is embossed. Nice and embossed. And all this is leading up to what I just got in the mail. Oh, I'm going to save that for the end. I just got this guy in the mail a few days ago. Back when Ethan Van Sciver was having a flash sale on this particular book. So, all right. So, not quite an unboxing, but this is like pulling them right out of the bag and board that I received it in. Cyberfrog Wrecked Planet Ashcan Preview. Very shiny. I want to say this could be a chromium cover. Created, written, and illustrated by Ethan Van Sciver. Coloring by Kyle Ritter. Lettering by Eric Weathers. Production and design by Steve Dye. Cover art by Jay Lee. So Jay Lee did the cover art, which is pretty cool. And of course, it's so shiny, my camera is going to reflect all over. Whoa. Excuse me. Allergies are crazy today. Keep It Thorough says Cyberfrog isn't as good as it was during its inception. Yeah, I mean, kind of think of it. I've got the first. Had to hit the cough button there as I coughed up some stuff. So this guy is Cyberfrog #1. He is the very first one. And 1996 Harris publication. So yeah, we can get a good idea of where Ethan Van Sciver was as an artist in 96. Very cool. Good coloring. I like the coloring on it. So I'm just going to leave that right there. And then we're going to compare it to his more recent artwork. This is, again, an Ashcan preview of Wrecked Planet. I believe it's the sequel to Blood Honey. Nice artwork there. All right, so I like doing this. I like doing this, looking at artists and their work from, say, 20, 30 years ago, how far they've come. Okay. It's not bad, but yeah, I kind of like It's hard to tell. This is artwork in 96. This is artwork now. And it's kind of interesting to have a look at how far he's come. It's a lot smoother, a lot more refined. Oh, it's very dynamic. Look at that. The colors are nice. They kind of pop there. Every panel is busy. It is crazy. Every panel is stuffed with something. Even in black and white, it's like a delight for the eyes. And this is art by Rob Willis, Kyle Ritter. Cover gallery. Very cool. And then a shiny, spiffy foil back cover. So this is not bad. This is a nice preview for Wrecked Planet. I'll eventually get Wrecked Planet because I want to see where the story is headed. I've read his Blood Honey book. Now I want to check out Wrecked Planet to see where the story goes in it. It is quite entertaining. So that goes back in its cover. Since I'm here, I might as well bust open Blood Honey #1. I've done this before, but all caps comics, nice embossed back cover. Ultimate Cyber Frog. Van Sciver, Ritter, Weathers. I do like his artwork. Colors are nice. Colors pop. The artwork is nice. I think he progressed pretty well over the past few decades. So that's kind of nice to see the evolution of his work. And since this is the bag and board it came in, this feels, that feels like a regular old poly bag, but it is new. So I'm going to save that for a lesser book. And I'm going to reach for, as I knock stuff over on my cluttered desk. And I grab a nice Mylar bag. I don't care what it is. Mylar bags over poly bags just make covers pop. It's just something about a clear Mylar bag, nice cover art. Things pop. All right. I'm going to end my live stream today on a nice graphic novel I quite enjoyed. As I kind of fan these out there at the top. All right. Graphic novel of the week. Well, I say week. I don't know if I'll keep that going or not. Star Wars Splinter of the Mind's Eye, based on the novel by Alan Dean Foster, which I actually have that novel. It was quite a nice read. This is the adaptation of Alan Dean Foster's novel into comic book form. Artwork looks pretty good. Luke looks like Luke. Leia looks like Leia. Let's see, who did what in this? First off, Dark Horse. Yeah, Dark Horse Comics at one time was pumping out Star Wars books all over the place. All right. As the back starts to read, Luke Skywalker expected trouble when he volunteered to follow Princess Leia on her mission to Sarkarpus. That strange place right there. To enlist their rebel underground in the battle against the Empire. What Luke hadn't counted on was an unscheduled landing in the swamp lands of Mimban, or any of the things they would find on that strange planet. Hidden on this planet was the Kyber crystal, mysterious gem that would give the one who possessed it such powers over the Force that he would be all but invincible. In the wrong hands, the crystal could be deadly. Luke had to find this treasure and find it fast. Accompanied by R2-D2 and C-3PO, the two fateful droids, Luke and Leia set out for the Temple of Pomojima. What awaits is a confrontation deep beneath the surface of an alien world with the most fearsome villain in the galaxy. Yes. Let's see who did what in this book. Script and inks by Terry Austin. Pencils by Chris Sprouse. Coloring by James Sinclair. Cover by Duncan Fegredo. Lettering by Steve Dutro. Introduction by Alan Dean Foster. Okay, that's cool. He gave the introduction to the adaptation. That's not a bad cover right there. Ah, Ray Lucard. Hello there. Thanks for, as my camera freaks out over the focusing. Now, let's have a look at the artwork. Not bad. Pretty good artwork there. I barely remember the story. I know I've read the novel way back when. It might be one of those things where I have to take some time to reread the novel. Yeah, this is I forgot. If I have enough graphic novels, I might make that graphic novel of the week. So my next Saturday live stream will be a different graphic novel after I talk about some different comic books. And since I've been rambling here a little over an hour, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. As I kind of, shiny, super shiny. Not really shiny. That's white. There's Cyberfrog. I like these oddball books because these companies that I'm probably long gone, but it's just like little underdog companies like Silverwolf. One guy who had an idea for his comic book characters and comic book universe just up and decided to make his own publishing company. I'm going to read up on this again to see where Silverwolf Comics went. X-Men and Teen Titans, X-O Man of War, and Iron Man. The New Teen Titans, #1. And then X-Men and Alpha Flight 1 and 2. So, yeah. Well, this has been fun. I had other stuff planned for today, but I had a house cat who has separation anxiety. She just cannot stand being out. Oh, well, she can't stand me when I am out of her eyesight. Sometimes she's calm, sometimes she spazzes out. Most of the time she's calm, but today she was just spazzing and freaking out. So I got a late start to today's live stream. Yeah, you had Splinter of the Mind's Eye. That's cool. The novel or the comic book, graphic novel? I have the novel still. Those are some great books. Oh, cool. Thank you. Glad you liked them. I do different comic books every Saturday. This is episode 8. I've only been doing comic book Saturdays for the past 2 months now. I used to talk about comic books during my regular weekly live streams, but then I thought, well, let's take let's take anything and everything comic book related and put it on Saturdays. Oh, you had the novel. That's cool. And I've also trying something different for today's live stream and have some music playing in the background. I don't know if it's too much, too little. I'll check it out on the replay to see if I like having the music play in the background while I yammer on about stuff. Let's see. Who joined me today? Keep It Thorough Comics. Thank you for joining me today. You're the first one out of the gate in the chat. That is very cool. I do live streams Monday nights and Wednesday nights. As I joke, I weaponize my insomnia sometimes. Sometimes I start at 10 p.m. Central Time. Sometimes I start at 11 p.m. and go for an hour or two, or until I start to feel myself getting draggy. Then I can also be found on the Comic Relief Crusaders Tuesday and Friday afternoon shows, which are always a load of fun. And then Saturday afternoons, 2 to 4, sometimes 2 to 4, where I talk about comic books. Let's see. It was Keep It Thorough Comics, and then Ray Lucard joined me in a chat today. I've noticed I've had anywhere from a number of lurkers out there pop in and out. I want to thank you all for catching me live, participating in the chat, saying hi there, and for catching me on a replay. Hello out there. This is what I do on Saturdays, chatting about comic books. Sometimes I have a topic I discuss, a particular series of books I go into and chat about. Today was just a random comic book stream. Next Saturday, I've got some ideas for next Saturday and a Saturday after that. So not so random, a little bit more planned out. But today was, everything that could go wrong went wrong. But yeah, it is what it is. I want to thank you all for joining me today, whether you're lurking out there, checking me out, and whatnot. Let's see what is coming up. Of course, happy Easter, everyone. If you observe it, happy Easter. Hope you enjoy your services tomorrow. And with that, I will leave. Until next time, everyone, thanks for joining me. Have a great rest of your Saturday and a great weekend and a great week ahead. Until next time, later.